very simple gesture of just placing this object just at the entrance of the museum, which was also the exit of the place. So I leave you with this object. Another object that is more personal this time. It's I call it. It's not really a dream machine. Alarm clock, where you can adjust the speed of the time, so it can go. You can adjust so that you can have experience like your own fiction of time. It's not really a fiction, maybe perception of time, but personal. Linked to that word is also this radio transmitter. It's actually a radio jammer, which is based on the atomic clock, which is, as you may know, this legal time reference, just like this radio frequency that is in Europe broadcasted from Mainflingen in Germany, and this little apparatus that is just here, just like allows in the space to be protected from that time code frequency to just reach the space. It's like a peninsula kind of isolation from this kind of bell, just a regular time. Some other series of work. This is a project in several parts, which started with a website. You have a shot here, and use the purpose of that website, or just the way it works. It's just like people would go into that website, which was actually the first website for a series of projects. It was the communication of the project, so people would come, like just the viewers would reach the information, and the more they will like
go there, it will erase.
Yeah, it will erase the content of the website. So when they will just click on stuff, they would not really realize that they are damaging the stuff. But the next viewer then will see on the website that somebody already came in the place and did some damages, and then knowing or not that the next viewer will also find their marks. So all these websites built an archived kind of a memory that has been used for different. So yes, at first it was some text, now it's like erased. This is the first step of the website when it was shown. So then the activity of the website then produced all this archive that worked as in a way almost like a musical score that would control and make that sculpture that you can see here, which is like this aquarium filled with black ink, and in which there were these explosions, underwater explosion provoked by the activity of all the data gathered through the website. During that moment, there was this cocktail. It was different series from all the different works went from the very dark substance into a transparent one, and for each sculpture, with at each event there was this cocktail that was served with the work. So this one started with the black. So to talk about the taste of the cocktail and the effects and the situation, it used some CO2 crystals that were like CO2 compressed into sugar. So in contact with the water, then it would explode. So it was like this small mini explosions in the glass, so very noisy cocktail as well. So people could drink it and share. So it was also part of the. Excuse me? No. Okay. So the next step then was this kind of sliding into this other form, but also like taking as always this interpretation or variation of that form, or how it built another form. And this one is ice sculpture, which is in the shape of, you can see it like just like this kind of a splash. So it was also in a way of this control of attempt, or just like also losing this part of control of the time as well, which that explosion then melting with the sun and just the temperature of the water, which also helped to shape the form of the sculpture, but then made this very slow motion that people could also experience while this ice sculpture would go just like by the river, and people could walk like also next to it, also drinking another cocktail in the same explosion but in the transparent way. So this is the same at different moments of I'm thinking about maybe a different piece which is also maybe linked with time, maybe, which I'm sure some of you know very well, the apparatus there, which is this state of fiction where we could have all these dices melt or just like be frozen into this moment where you shake them in your hand and you have all the, it's basically just like melting dices into a moment or a way that melting them will erase their significance, or just like the numbers on them physically, and then that liquid just was here and the steering, like this vortex permanent. I think I have a close-up here. So this was, yeah, just this shaking over and over, and also like retaining all this moment where if the dice were in your hand, like also in water, just the water could not like, of course, like be held by your hands, but just this moment of just like holding it. Maybe that piece, which is also linked with this, the plants are nettles. So during the, it's also like changing during the whole exhibition. So set on these pedestals. This, yeah, this is a view at the beginning. Then what we have in the installation here is basically this apparatus is a vinyl record. It's burnt with some recordings, loop recordings of a heartbeat at different paces. From being very quiet to run, so from very fast. So also the vinyl being read over and over in the same groove, then would also made this use of the activity of the heart recorded. Then physically what was happening here is then these pulses were amplified by this amplifier, and then I think I have a close-up as well. Yeah, by electrodes like dropped in the ground of the nettles. Then.
Helping the plants to grow.
What? Can you?
Helping the plants to grow.
Yeah, in a way. Yeah, stressing them.
Fiction.
Yeah, exactly. That's, yeah. This piece is called Heartbeat Exciter, which was also very interesting. What I really liked about this, also these nettles, which also even more of their like protein content and the link with this like serotonin of the brain also, which is linked with the like this mechanics of the brain. I arrived pretty late, but I heard a bit part of this mechanism, and also just this also sculpture where the exchange with the sculpture would be also like in a biological way, where you will have this kind of almost glass, like the CDs under your skin, which with the contact with the work will also like be inside of your own body. Maybe all these links between, or maybe just one very simple, which is this, just this passageway where the first room was at 9 degrees Celsius, and the other room to 40 degrees. So it was just asking, like inviting people to experience a thermal shock.
Like now.
I know.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now Ernst Poppel should conclude.
Yeah.
to.
Or maybe
I stand up because I cannot talk when I sit, and I have no pictures. I changed my presentation after what we discussed, because there were some questions. There were some questions about data or facts. So, but there's a general frame. I think the connection between art and science, or art and neuroscience, is to look for anthropological universals. It's true for everybody, and relate them to cultural specifics, which might be very specific in different cultures. And then we can talk a lot about imprinting and cultural frames and all that. Now, to wake up, let's have an experiment at first. Take your hand and move it slowly back and forth. Slowly. And watch the size of your hand. Now store that in your short-term memory, the change of size. Okay, now we do the following fast. Okay, and when you do it, the result is probably the following. When you do it slowly, it somehow has the same size. But if you do it fast, it's bigger and smaller.
yes.
So that refers to this discussion we had, that what we see is actually not a passive reflection, not a mirror of what's represented in our eyes, but when we do it slowly, we have eye movements, convergence of eyes, and on that basis, we have a coordination transformation in one of the visual areas, such that we maintain the size. And when we do it fast, we see it actually, the eye movement sort of cannot be triggered, and we see it as it is represented on the retina. So actually, we should see it big and small, but we don't. So here then, apparently, what we see must be, this is a very simple experiment, of course, constructed in our brain, or let's say reconstructed. And now, and then we are in the time business also, because if it's too fast, something does not work. And we are I think the central question of neuroscience: how is it possible to create identity? Identity of a percept and identity of myself. And the constant size constancy, this experiment refers to size constancy, is just one little indication or one experiment where constancy mechanisms, color constancy, brightness constancy, contribute to the maintenance of the identity of percepts. And so are there other data now, other facts which might relate to this phenomenon to create and maintain identity of percepts? Well, over the many decades now, we have worked on a temporal integration mechanism, pre-semantic temporal integration. And it has been observed that in humans, actually in all higher mammals, there's a temporal integration process which is pre-semantic, which is not determined by what we process, but it's pre-semantic. It's a temporal stage, a temporal window, approximately 2 to 3 seconds. One can define it, let's say, as something like the subjective presence, giving an answer to St. Augustine's question, what is time? Well, we only experience the presence. The presence, I think, could be of 2 to 3 seconds. Now, data. When you listen to me, in case you listen to me, you realize that I always produce utterances of 8, 10, 12 syllables. Then there's a planning pause about 500 milliseconds, sometimes bridged by paralinguistic vocalizations. These are the A's, the waiting phase, to prepare the next utterance. This is actually the creative phase in language. All 5,000 languages we still have this rhythmic structure. Now the funny thing is that this temporal segmentation, the rhythmic organization in all languages, is directly reflected in poetry. If you look at the duration of a verse, you will find that usually you have it framed or implemented within a 2 to 3 second window. Now, don't listen to the content, listen just to the temporal structure. Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? This is exactly 3 seconds, by the way. Sonnet 18 from Shakespeare.